you are posting content, but somewhere it feels like people are not really getting what I mean, or your content just seems to mesh with every other post on Instagram, something that even ChatGPT can generate, then I have this episode for you. Welcome to this podcast, which is called Your Spiritual Business Coach. I am your host, Ashu. I am the coach for light leaders ready to own their fierce self-expression and build audiences that trust you with their eyes closed. We do this by integrating Feline Energy, which helps you birth match made in heaven offers and whisker licking good marketing. And today I'm going to talk about one of my coaching calls with a private client, where my client came to me with this challenge, like, I am posting, but I'm not getting clients. I do get clients from referrals, I do make money, I have hit my highest income months and everything, but my content doesn't seem to do the trick. It comes from everywhere else. When we dug deeper, we realized the problem was that her content is like vanilla ice cream. Now, I have no issues against vanilla ice cream. Just to clarify, I love it, but I love it a little more with some chocolate sauce on it. And that is exactly what I'm going to help you do inside this episode. The problem with my client M's content was that it lacked specificity, emotion, and transformation. I'll give you an example, okay? Her content piece sounded, when I was asking her, okay, tell me, what do you help your clients with? And then she said to me, moms feeling guilty for taking time for themselves. And I was like, okay, and what will happen once they've worked with you? The response was, moms will not feel guilty for taking time for themselves. Now that is a very vague copy. Another one, moms struggle with time management, and once someone has worked with me, they will stop struggling with managing time and will be able to do everything. This sort of content is not going to get your clients. Even ChatGPT can generate it, any AI can generate it. It's basic as fuck. And if you are creating content like this, if you are still focused on creating content like 5 things that help you calm down, 5 things to do to navigate change, and things I would tell you to navigate change, these are not going to get you clients. They're barely going to get any saves, but they're not going to get you clients. And this is not to tell you that you're doing something wrong, because it's not your fault that you're creating content like this. So many people have so many content courses out there teaching you to create content like that create educational content, give value in your content, and you are loading your carousels, making them a fucking math textbook from 10th grade, but it just is not how clients get converted. That is why I had created my program Cosmic Sales Elixir. And by the way, round 2 of Cosmic Sales Elixir starts in April. If you are listening to this in March 2025, then come over on the link in the show notes of this podcast episode and get inside, because that is something like, we have a module called chocolate content, like how to make chocolatey content, and that module is split into 2 whole weeks. Of 8 weeks, out of 8 weeks of this mini mind, 2 weeks are totally dedicated to making your content more chocolatey. That is going to up level the kind of clients you get, high quality clients, people who are ready to pay you, people who don't have too many questions. All of that happens in these 2 weeks, and this episode is like a teaser for everything that you're going to get in that module. So Cosmic Sales Elixir, my 2-month mini mind, is open for enrollment. Go ahead, get yourself inside. If you have any questions, DM me Elixir and I will answer it to you. DM me on Instagram at Listening Stories Untold. Again, that link will be in the show notes as well. Now let's get to it. I will show you her before and after, okay? Before, my client said, moms will not feel guilty for taking time for themselves. But after working with me, the content was like, imagine getting your nails done without worrying about what your kid is doing at home or whether they have eaten properly. That is more powerful than moms not feeling guilty for taking time for themselves. Let's go on another one. My clientele, let's say her clientele is moms, right? So moms would not struggle with time management anymore. So for that, I said, how about we position it as, I am now an expert, or my client is now an expert at expanding the 24 hours in a way that they get all the work done, including the last minute projects that your kid forgot to tell you about. That is very relatable. That is very tangible, and that is what will get you clients instead of moms struggling with time management and moms not struggling with time management anymore. But how am I making this tangible? How am I shifting this vague thing? I'll give you another example, not from my client now I'll give you a normal example. Okay, people say you are stuck in your business, are you stuck in your life? But you are not telling me what does that stuck look like. I am not able to picture it. Our brain thinks in pictures, images, sounds, visuals, like this. There's more to it. It doesn't think in words. Words are not how it works. Words is a medium for you to create those images. If you say you're stuck in business, that is not a very picture inducive sentence. However, if I say that you are staring at your laptop rewriting your Instagram bio for the fifth time and thinking it still does not convey everything you have to say without running out of characters, that shows stuck. That is a real life situation. By the way, I do help you with your Instagram bios as well and sparkle my magic with some chocolatey content on your vanilla content. Chocolate sauce on a vanilla content. Inside Cosmic Sales Alexa, there's a dedicated module for your bio, for your feed posts, for your LinkedIn bio, like literally entire profile transformation is there. Now, we want to look at first point that we've proved here is it sounds like a math theorem, but we want to shift from vague problems to real life situations that people are going through. The second thing is we want to give them a before and after taste. Now, we want to show, again, make pictures in their head. Instead of saying you'll feel more confident in your business, you'll feel more confident in your life. The fuck does it mean to be more confident? The fuck does it mean to be more bold, fierce? What does it mean? What does it look like? So for example, when you are in my Cosmic Sales Alexa, let's say, if I were to make a very vague copy, I would say you'll feel more confident in selling. If I were to shift that, I would say something like, I'm creating it on the spot, so let me think. You would literally wake up, post the first thing in your post the first thing that you can think of, and actually have people text you wanting to buy from you. Versus you'll feel more confident. What would create the image? I'll give you another example. So you'll feel more confident in your business versus you'll finally raise your prices and sign clients who don't question your worth. I want to make it even more tangible. I could go, you'll finally raise your prices and you won't say, yeah, I can give you a discount when you're going back and forth in a discovery call or in your DMs, something like that. That makes it very specific that yes, this is what I want, because I'm going through those moments. I don't want to do those things, but what do I actually want to do? Make a picture of that. The third thing you want to look at here is we want to give another specific examples rather than vague promises. So I won't say you'll get more sales. Okay, cool. But imagine waking up to a DM from a dream client saying, I have been bitching your content and I need to work with you right now. That is what happens with you inside Cosmic Sales Elixir. This pitch versus join me inside Cosmic Sales Elixir where I will help you make more sales as a spiritual entrepreneur. Which one are you gonna buy from? I feel like this is so obvious at this point, but your content is not just for engagement, it should also seamlessly lead into a sales conversation. And creating posts that create those pictures in your head is the best way to do it. So this is how I help my client. I made her write out her client's struggles in detail. And every time, that's why working with me is the best thing you can do for yourself. It's like, I have had so many clients say that in testimonials, in video testimonials, that this is the best decision for their business. Because when you give me things like this, like my client M said to me that her results are, her client will feel like she has more time, she feels more supported, and she does not feel guilty for taking out time for herself. When she says these things to me, the kind of questions I have mastered asking to my client in order to grab that tangible content just blows their mind away. They're like, wow, Asha, this content piece just is so much better than what I had created, but I would not have been able to do this without her. My client knows exactly how to create that content piece and what words to put. They've just not been thinking in that way, and that is where I jump in with my questions. So I made her write out her client's struggles. We did it on a call, and then I listed out exactly how it looks like in the life with examples. Okay, and we turned the vague sentences into powerful. So we took the vague sentence, I put quotation marks or highlighted everywhere it was vague, and then we turn it, we slip in something more tangible, something that's an image driven statement. And in Cosmic Sales Elixir, I help you deep dive into creating content that does the selling for you, just like I did with my client M. I'll help you clarify exactly what problems you solve and how to communicate that in a way that resonates deeply with your ideal client. That was vague marketing. Let me give you a twist on this. So, when you work with me in Cosmic Sales Elixir, I will actually look at your statements and I will change them so that I will help you change them so that your client reads it and goes, fuck, how does she know that this is happening with me? I need to work with her. She gets me on a whole another level. I don't even share these things with my family. I really want to talk to her about this. These are the kind of messages people start receiving after they get inside Cosmic Sales Elixir and start implementing the modules that I have. So this is going to make your sales conversation so much easier because your content would have done all of the heavy lifting. All you have to do is drop me a message on Instagram, said Elixir, DM Elixir, and I will send you the details. Or you can just go to the show notes and click the link of Cosmic Sales Elixir and see the details for yourself, and then again come to Instagram and let me help you out. But take the exercises from this episode, refine your content, and again, if you need deeper support, you know where to find me. So let's make your content do the heavy lifting for you. And I want to thank you for tuning into your Spiritual Business Coach podcast and for listening to this episode. If you're feeling a little too generous, do drop me a review or rating on whatever platform you're listening this on. And if you feel the nudge to tell me what you felt about this episode or to inquire how you can work with me, drop me a message on Instagram at Listening Stories Untold, and I will see you in the next episode.